I'm a citizen who's looking out for the best interest of my nation, and I'm trying to warn my other fellow citizens of what's happening. And people are just so consumed with their irrational hatred for Donald Trump, they forget that there were local elections on that ballot as well. And those local elections impact us even more because those are the people who make the direct decisions that impact our day-to-day lives. And we're just trying to tell people what's happening, and they're just roundly dismissing us all as a bunch of liars because they're so consumed with their hatred for Donald Trump.
President Trump pressing on with his legal fight for election integrity after more whistleblowers come forward with claims of voting irregularities.
The Attorney General says he's found no evidence of widespread fraud. So what should Americans make of all this? Joining us with the answers, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. Tom, thanks for being here. Good to see you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Look, you know, there are a lot of people and a lot of the media specifically quick to just dismiss some of these stories from the whistleblowers without even so much as digging into them, it seems. What do you think about this?
Well, at least some of these legislators are looking into it, and they're the ones who decide in the end whether to endorse these electoral college slates that would decide who the president's going to be. So the media may be whistling past the graveyard on these allegations of election irregularities, but the state legislatures have to deal with it directly, and potentially Congress in the end, because they ultimately decide whether to approve or disapprove of the electoral college choices. So this is a political process, and the media obviously doesn't like Donald Trump, so they're going to ignore evidence that hurts their favored candidate in this contest, which is Joe Biden, obviously.
Yeah, you know, we've heard from whistleblowers, especially this week. It seems like they're getting a lot more attention, saying that, you know, a postal worker saying 100,000 ballots he delivered across 3 state lines, allegations of dead people voting, and yet the president's team hasn't been able to make any legal inroads. Why?
Well, because I don't think the courts are ready to grapple with the consequences of the maladministration of the elections, which I think was purposeful. We knew mail-in ballots were going to result in problems like this, and the states changed the rules contrary to state law and arguably the Constitution in a way that makes it unclear as to whether these ballots were counted appropriately or handled appropriately. And the courts, the consequence of that is that you may have ballots thrown out or a change in what is the current result of the election contest, and the courts don't want to get into it. And so it's a political decision, in my view, by the courts, and this is why the Electoral College process, which involves the state legislatures and Congress, may be the best insurance we have to ensure the person who actually won is the president.
Well, we know you'll continue to follow that, as we will, Tom. Let's talk about this for a second, because Adam Schiff flip-flops on special counsels after the Durham appointment. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this. Now, just for your knowledge at home, this was back in September of 2018.
We ought to take up this bill in the last week of this session and make sure that Mueller is protected so that we don't have to wonder what happens in the kind of constitutional crisis that would follow.
And then on Tuesday, he comes out saying that Barr is using the special counsel law for a purpose it was not intended, to continue a politically motivated investigation. Tom, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, Adam Schiff ought to be investigated over his collusion against President Trump, what he knew and when about the lies used to justify the last special counsel investigation, Robert Mueller. The question is, are we going to allow misconduct by the Justice Department, the FBI, and other agencies to go by without any accountability, whether either finding out the full truth of what went on or prosecutions? Adam Schiff, for political purposes, doesn't want that to happen. I'm not all that confident Durham's going to prosecute anyone significant. In the least, we ought to find out what the heck he's been doing since April of last year. But you know, Adam Schiff being the standard bearer of law and order in this town, to me, that's a symptom of the swamp more than anything else.
All right, Tom, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.